Hi, I'm Pete.
And I'm Sam, and we're the co-founders of happystride. happystride is a cool running and fitness brand specialising in bright and functional running clothing.
And this is the Running Makes Me Happy podcast, the podcast that inspires happy running.
Today we're joined by Jim Dodsworth of 651 Running, who's going to be chatting us through his top training tips ahead of spring marathon season, benefits of working with a coach, and we get to hear about his dream race.
Welcome, Jim. Very excited to have you on today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, so thank you.
And how did you get here today?
So my wife's got the car this morning, so I ran here.
Very impressive. Very
So yeah, sorry for the dishevelled appearance.
No. And how far was the run?
It's just under 5 miles, so nothing too bad. But
Yeah, nice.
So Jim, tell us a bit about how you got into running. How long have you been running for? What's your running background?
Well, yeah, I guess I've been sort of a lifelong runner. So I suppose I first ran around the age of 9.
Wow.
So, like many people do, you get sucked into the school cross country and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I did all right. I came like in the top 10 in the kind of the local schools race and stuff. But that was the same year that the 1984 Olympics was on.
Inspiring.
So that, so Carl Lewis, Daley Thompson,
Yeah.
that kind of completely got me sucked into the track side of things. And I guess that's always been my first love is the track. But then I really got into the London Marathon that year as well. So Charlie Spedding winning, Ingrid Christensen, both of whom are kind of, iconic for me, particularly Ingrid Christensen, just in terms of what she achieved through her career.
Yeah.
And that kind of inspired me. So, I joined an athletics club as soon as I could. So I think it was 11 back in the day.
Yeah.
Competed all through school.
Yeah.
And then into university. Had a bit of a break in my 20s and 30s.
As you do.
Honest.
Yeah. Other things become important,
Yeah, went out maybe a bit more than I ought to.
Yeah.
I still ran, so I lived in Richmond for quite a few years, and Richmond's one of the best places in the country to run. Richmond and Teddington as well. I lived.
Yeah.
So this was before
Lovely.
parkrun started, unfortunately. So I've run Bushy Park many times, but I've never run the Bushy Park parkrun. So that's on the hit list. But yeah, so I'm still running in my 20s and 30s, but, life took over.
Absolutely.
Very busy job. I was a management consultant at the time, so stupid hours, blah, blah, blah. And through lockdown, doing bits and pieces, but was spending 12 hours a day on Zoom and just thought, I'm done with corporate life. So I resigned, and then the next day joined Leon C. Striders, which is my running club.
Yeah, lovely club.
And just have a brilliant time. And I've really kind of kicked on with my running since then. So, maybe not having the attrition in my legs through my 20s and 30s has kind of helped a bit.
Yeah.
So, haven't got quite as much mileage as I might have done. But
yeah, I definitely think that helps. Like, I've run for like 16 years since I was about 24, 25, and I can tell now like the wear and tear.
Yeah, and you're running silly distances as well,
ultras, and I think I see a lot of guys and girls who start running like early 40s and then they're getting loads of PBs.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like I'm sort of going the other way.
Yeah.
Because it's like maybe it's a bit of wear and tear.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. There's a book called, I can't remember the actual name of it, by a guy called Richard Asquith. And it's all about masters running and how people that come to it later are the ones really getting the phenomenal times into their 70s, 80s and beyond, inspirational. So it's never too late to start running, in my opinion.
No, 100%. But then you see like Kipchoge the other day. What did he run? 2:15.
And he's 40 now, isn't he?
So
and
you can tell he's sort of like me going the other way. With
I'd love to be running 2:15 on the wane. Can you imagine?
So 651 Running is your running coaching business. So when did you start that? How did that come about? Why did you choose to start that?
So I've always enjoyed kind of helping other people with their running and stuff. So it's something I was doing without kind of having formal qualifications and stuff. And when I was doing the management consulting, a big part of that job was kind of executive coaching, so helping people, with career decisions and making strategic choices, or really, helping them on their kind of journey. And that was always the part I loved the most. Nice. So that kind of working with people, helping them be better was something that was kind of always been in my head. And I've always enjoyed watching other people get PBs as well as getting them myself, I think a PB, and why running's so brilliant is that everybody can get a PB, and that's a pretty special thing. So I really like doing that for other people. and just with the running club and stuff, I got into the coaching side of that as soon as I could when I joined.
Yeah.
And really, really loved doing that. But then wanted to kind of, I thought, why not take the leap and have a go and see what it's like to do it for myself. So did a whole bunch of qualifications, both through England Athletics, but also, there's Macmillan, there's VDOT, a number of others, just to get that grounding and that base. I read ridiculous numbers of running books, which I continue to do.
Pete loves a running book as well.
Oh, yeah. It's, I've got this list of still want to buys on the old Amazon list. But, so continue doing that, and just constantly learning, doing more, and just as the business has grown, learning from the people I work with and helping them. So it's been a fun couple of years.
So it's been going to a couple of years.
So last 2 years ago in November, I started it. So
nice. And why is it called 651 Running?
Well, for about 20 years, I had the goal of running a sub 3 hour marathon, and it took me a while to get there, and eventually I did it. But what I worked out was that in order to guarantee running a sub 3, you need to run 6 minutes 51 seconds per mile, which gives you 2:59:34, I believe.
Right.
So I'm quite a geek with the numbers, actually. Lots of people think it's 6:52, but that gives you 3 hours dead, which not really many one wants. No,
so, you want under 3. Yeah, exactly.
So 651.
Nice.
Wow, I love that story. I'm really glad we asked that. So as a running coach, what sort of training methods do you tend to use? But obviously without giving away all your secrets.
Oh yeah. So I guess there's 4 things that I take into account when I work with an athlete. And everything I do is bespoke to that individual, because we all have different kind of things. But firstly is the talent that you have. Now, we spoke about Kipchoge earlier. Not everybody, or in fact pretty much nobody's got his level of talent. But it's making the best of what everybody has.
Yes.
And again, everybody can become better, get their PB. So it's making the most of the talent they have. So that's one aspect. Secondly is kind of the hard work. So that's about getting the basics right in terms of sleep, nutrition, doing strength and conditioning. So the things, the foundations that you put in place to make your running as good as it can be, doing drills, the dull stuff. But also, doing the work in the right way. So running hard when you need to run hard, but when you need an easy day, when you need a rest day, taking it. So hard work actually sometimes means doing something easier than you think you want to. So it's having that discipline. So that's the second part. Third part's the mental game. So I've seen so many really good runners ruin their race on the start line because they look at who's around them and go, I can't beat them. And they forget about themselves. They self-sabotage. They don't acknowledge that when you're deep into a race, it is going to hurt. But acknowledging that, accepting it, and kind of thriving on it is kind of critical as well. So working with the athlete to kind of help with their mental game, I think it's a critical thing as well.
So important,
And then fourthly is everybody is different. So your personal circumstances, you guys have got Polly, and so if I put a training plan in place that says, well, you've got to do this and you've got to run at 3, well, that's school pickup time. Right? So it's working with the person to say, I want to run with the club on a Monday and a Wednesday. Fine, let's accommodate that. And take into account their goals and everything. So working with their unique circumstances to make the plan as appropriate as possible, with the talent, the hard work, and the mental game kind of all roped into that. So that's kind of my overall kind of philosophy, I guess.
That's amazing. It sounds so personalised, as you say, to the individual. There's certain things that kind of you think about for everyone, but it's a very personalised approach, which sounds great and makes sense as to why you'd want to work with a coach. And I think also it's kind of giving that person feedback as well. There's good kind of plans online that you can download, and they work well for some people, but what you don't get is that constant feedback and interaction and stuff, which I think is the key thing that I like to do with like
people.
Couch to 5k and that sort of thing. So
brilliant. I fully advocate them.
I think the flexibility is so important as well, and being able to change plans like really quickly if people's their schedules change. You mentioned something about the online sort of platforms out there. What do you think of platform like Runner. And I think what you just mentioned there about the feedback, you're never going to get that with Runner because it's a online platform. It probably uses AI. It spits out a platform based on what you put in. But, you know, I've gone and done a 20-mile run. I need to do 10 miles at marathon pace. I only did 7. This happened. With a coach, I can feed that back to you. We can have a conversation, we can have a chat. You don't have that with Runner. What do you think about those platforms coming in, and are you worried about them?
So firstly, I think for me, more people running is a good thing. So if platforms like Runner and so on are encouraging that, then I'm fully behind it.
100%.
And I think they're good for people that are disciplined, that know themselves, and are willing to adapt and accommodate around the plan that platform gives them.
Yeah.
I think where they are limited is for people that perhaps need more accountability, that need that feedback. And I've also had a few people come to me and said that the sessions that they get within those apps are like too challenging to a point where you're running the risk of injury and you're doing hard days back to back or whatever it might be. So I think if you're able to use those platforms and move days around and so on, then I think they're great. But if you're looking for a pure coaching experience, use a human being.
100%.
And I think that will always be the case.
I 100% agree. It's like all AI, isn't it? Like I still don't think anything's going to beat a human. Like, you know, you can go into ChatGPT and say, can you put together this piece of content, etc. But people know it's been produced by ChatGPT. So you have to put your human touch on it. And I think you're right. Like, I don't know what Runner is. Is it 10, 15 quid? Something like that for an entry level. Yeah, but you're not going to get that human interaction, personalisation.
I think my favourite part of coaching is the pre-marathon chat, which is where you go through in detail race strategy, nutrition, all of those things, but really get into that person's head to not start too fast. And I will always end that conversation, don't start too fast. But just having that conversation with them, kind of getting them excited, and then when they execute against the plan that you've worked together, it's just so exciting. And you're never going to get that through an AI tool. They can churn out some stuff, I get that, but it's looking in the whites of someone's eyes and giving them that belief, I think is really exciting.
I imagine that's a special moment when you've been working with someone for a marathon and then they run it and they hit their PB, or even if they don't, they've done it, and it must be quite
it
amazing.
Really is. I mean, the marathon's a frustrating distance to coach because you know, anyone that's run one, you know, it can go really well, and you can put everything in place, but you know, the weather can be funny, or someone slips on a bottle at a feed station, or you get stomach bug the day before, or you know, whatever it is. London this year was really hot.
You do all that training and then it's boiling. But you've got to control controllables, haven't you?
Exactly.
And we've spoke about it before, haven't we? About when we've worked with you on some of the blog pieces you've done with the tips, like around, you mentioned like one of your like pillars is mental strategy. I think that's so important on a race, and you wouldn't get that from a platform like Runner, where, you know, I do it before. If I'm going for a marathon, going for a time, I write things down on my hand, like write down, okay, I did these training runs, I need to hit these splits, what am I going to tell myself when it gets tough, blah blah blah, because that last 10k is the tough bit, and it's the bit where you make or break the race if you're going for a time. And I think it's so important. I think you're right, some people don't think about that, do they do all the training, but what are you going to do, what are you going to say to yourself when it gets tough? But when do you think when do people tend to come to you to get a coach? Like when is a good time for people to come to you to get a coach? And I suppose on top of that, do you have some clients who you coach all year round, like always on? And then do you have some clients who just come to you just for like, I'm doing the London Marathon, can you train me for 4 months?
So both really. So there's some athletes I've coached for 2 years and ongoing, and and I really like that because you get to know and understand them, and then their goals will change and develop, but you know, they get better, and you can chip away at times, but focus on different distances or whatever it might be. So that's the best relationship to have, because you really know how each other works and stuff. But then, you get people that will come to you for specifically marathon season. I think it's the big one for that. But also, with the super halves coming along, there's people wanting to tick those off. So that's become quite a big thing for me as well.
Yeah.
And half marathon's a great distance to coach and to run, if I'm honest. I think it's a lovely one.
Yeah.
So they're probably the two biggest kind of groups of people that I get. But, we were speaking about the training apps before.
Yes.
I've had a number of people come to me having had the experience of having an online coach.
Yeah.
And I mean that in terms of an app rather than because, my business is an online.
It's online as well, isn't it? Yeah.
But just where they've struggled with the accountability side and have wanted that human interaction. So that's a big thing as well. And then the final one actually is kind of with...
So sorry, just quickly, you could almost say that apps like Runner are helping your business.
Potentially, yeah.
Because they're getting into running, they're using it, but they're not getting the extra bits, so then you're the next step on top of it.
Yeah, I think if you are serious in what you're doing, then I think having a human coach is probably the best way to do that. So they're a good entry level, definitely, to see whether following a plan is a good thing. Because I was chatting to someone the other day, and she said her friend is using one of these apps, and she just ignores it. So it says go out and do this at this pace, and she goes, oh yeah, but that human accountability is really critical. And then the final group of people that I've had more coaching with recently have been the kind of the hybrid athletes, or particularly high rocks.
Right.
Because when you think about a high rocks event, it's 8K of running.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it's predominantly a running activity. You cannot do really well at high rocks without being a decent runner.
Yeah.
So helping people with the running aspect of that. And just building their endurance and then doing the appropriate interval work and stuff to help them be good at the high rocks is another one. So.
I must admit as well, we've seen an increase in our customers and community wearing Happy Stride.
Oh, great! That's perfect.
And I think
not the tops though.
And this this podcast isn't about talking about Happy Stride at the time, but we've seen loads of matchy because obviously it is
the team.
That's a great shout.
Yeah, it's a team event. Yeah. So they want like matchy or like two different coloured leopard prints, all that sort of thing. So we've seen a lot of that. So that's really good.
Love that. Yeah, that's really cool.
Hear that's kind of helping you as well.
Yeah.
So the podcast is called Running Makes Me Happy, as we know, and we do say that a lot at Happy Stride. I think, like, obviously, as we said earlier, we set up Happy Stride because we love running and it keeps our minds happy. So I was just going to ask you, Jim, do you run for mental health, and like, do your kind of customers and clients, do they run for their mental health, and how does it help their minds?
100%.
Yeah.
As a kid and stuff, it didn't think about that.
No.
But actually, you think about how much of a buzz you get after you've run well and so on.
Absolutely.
And even when I was in corporate world, going out for a run was the time where I would think I would solve more business problems out on a run than I ever would sitting in front of a computer. It just frees your mind up.
Yeah.
And it's that lovely thing of just being in the moment. You all of the mental health things and the things we have with social media and so on, and the talk about being in the moment. Running is one of the best things for that I can think of.
100%.
So you can work off frustrations, whatever it is. But also, that if you run with somebody, you have conversations when you're running that perhaps you'd never have if you were sitting down, even in the pub, because you're running alongside them, you're not having to look at each other and stuff. And I think it's a brilliant way for people to do therapy if they're in the need of that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I say that when I run with some mates, I say like that was like a therapy session.
Yeah.
Go out on a half an hour run, like you come back, you've got it all out, and you feel better, don't you?
And you're not distracted, are you? You're on like your phone. Like you might have your phone with you, you might be listening to music, but you can't scroll.
No.
You can't get distracted by something that's going on social media. And it really is that time in nature. Out and about.
Yeah, and I was just going to say something about nature. I mean, like, going out and seeing some wildlife, or we're lucky where we live by the sea here. Loads of birds to see and whatever. You might spot a seal occasionally, or I mean, the rare Two Tree Island, you get special things to watch.
It's not going to that.
There's no excuses though, is there? Like you can't you can just go outside. You haven't got to be a member of a gym like to go running. It's kind of like no limitations, which is why we love it. And even if you're not in Leigh-on-Sea like we all are, London's got amazing parks, and there's always somewhere to go out and meet new people as well.
It's not even just running either. It's like I say movement. I think going for a walk, going for a hike, just going for a 15-minute walk at lunch helps your mental health.
Totally agree.
You don't even need to be a runner.
No, absolutely. It's being outside, moving your body
a little bit.
Yeah.
And when do you tend to do your running?
I mean, I'm lucky with what I do now. I've got a bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
But there's a group of guys I go running with, and now they're going to harangue me for this because I haven't been for ages because I've been injured. But anyway, that's sort of 5 a.m. was or before 6 was the
5 a.m. club.
5 a.m. running club. So that was that. I do enjoy that and fully intend to do that a bit more.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm a morning runner.
Yeah.
Ideally. Well, morning or evening. Afternoon, I struggle. My biorhythms or whatever are out in the afternoon. But I like doing quick stuff in the evening, actually.
Yeah, you probably feel a bit better. We're both morning runners, and I think you're right with the quicks. What I love about the morning run is you got it done. You're all set. Let's go and smash the day. Whereas if you're doing it in the evening, it's just playing on your mind all day.
Yeah.
But I think with speed work, you are right. I feel like if you get up, go out, have a banana or whatever, and then go and try and do speed work, which I do. I do think your speed work's better. I don't. As a coach, you may have stats on this, but I think your quality is better in the evening because you've had food, you're more rested.
Yeah. Not
rested, but you're. I don't know. You've had the whole day.
Yeah.
Versus just wake up, go bang, work, go and do intervals.
Yeah, and if you've eaten appropriately, your fuel is going to, your glycogen levels, everything are going to be in a much better place to do that in the evening. But, Okay,
so mainly mornings, you'd say.
Yeah.
But you do train with the striders, don't you?
Yeah,
so
which
is evenings as well.
Evenings, and so I love doing the track stuff in the evening, and to be honest, I'll run any time.
It's kind of like what you said earlier about fitting in with your day and what else you've got going on, and like sometimes it just has to be evening, doesn't it? Because you can't make the morning work.
Yeah, I think for people that are getting into running, I would advocate the morning for what you've highlighted there, which is if you do it and it's done, you've done it. Tick on the day. But otherwise, you can potentially procrastinate and not do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was working. And so I would always
might come up.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas
Legitimately,
in the morning, it might not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a lunch run is, a runch. It's always.
We call it a runch.
It's always is good as well because it definitely improves your work in the afternoon because you've got the blood flowing. You're more got more energy and stuff. I think that's a good one if you can get out. But again, obstacles may come in.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can get them in,
Well, we've seen like lunch run clubs popping up around workplaces and things like that. Like as a way of creating a community, which is really nice.
It's a brilliant idea.
And it's like a shared interest, keep fit. Get a bit of energy back at lunchtime, which is really nice.
Yeah.
I love that sort of thing.
Kipchoge talks about making the world a running world, doesn't he? And
that.
anything that can encourage people to not just run but get out and move and they'll be happier, they'll have more community.
100%.
It's just a brilliant thing. So I'll probably bang on about that a lot, but I genuinely, the more people that run, the happier I am, and not because it means I get more work. There's nothing to do with that. It's what people enjoying running is just a brilliant
thing. And that's
thing.
what Happy Stride is all about, right? We love as well seeing about how people have started to go running of a Friday night, like on the streets in the dark, rather than going out for a drink and that sort of thing. And that's a change in behaviour. And actually, like we said about lunchtime running, that's just brilliant. And like what a cool thing to do. And it's not just running. It's like now it's kind of like to your friends, do you want to go and do like a Pilates class and like have a drink after or have a coffee or whatever? And it's just completely different, isn't it?
Yeah,
now? And it's
great.
Amazing. That world of wellness.
Another one is like run commute.
Oh yeah,
people run to work now, don't they?
Well, like Jim ran here today as well.
Like exactly.
Yeah,
well, I haven't had a shower or anything. So
yeah.
That's why you're sitting so far away from me.
So I think quite a lot of people feel motivated, and I know Pete certainly feels this when you've got a race coming up. So I know, like, as soon as sometimes people finish a race, they're like already booking for the next one because they had that in mind, and it really helped them. Have you got any races coming up?
Well, ironically, I haven't, but although I had a milestone birthday a little while ago, so I've got 5K targets and stuff I want to work on. So whilst I haven't got a specific race in mind, I'm going to chip away at the park runs, maybe find there's that Battersea series they do. So it's a really quick course up in Battersea, have a crack at one of them. And then secretly, I also want a better marathon, but I don't really want to do it.
You can't be saying that as a running coach.
No. But there's ways you can kind of compare the different distances. So my 5K, 10K and half marathon times are all kind of comparable. My marathon's miles off.
Yeah. So, what are your times, PBs?
So 5K 16:38, 10K 33:59, and half marathon 1:15:54.
Wow, very quick.
Very fast.
And then the marathon
2:56.
Yeah, so you'd think your 5K, 10K, half marathon would probably equal a quicker marathon time.
Yeah, the various, again, there's all sorts of books and stuff, but it says 2:34, 2:40, in that kind of ballpark. But God knows, I think I'm a bit old. But anyway,
got to get faster, Jim. Come on.
When you say you're targeting a 5K time for the big birthday, what time is that?
I want a sub 17 minimum. That's a definite. So sub 17 at 50 is the thing, but I'd love to get a PB as well. So sub 16:30 is the kind of the gold goal.
Oh right, okay, nice. Do you think it's possible?
Yeah.
How old were you when you ran 16:38?
It was 2 weeks after I did my marathon PB. So I've never actually trained that hard specifically for a 5K.
Yeah.
So that's 3 years ago. 4 years ago. Sorry.
Was that where was that?
London. It was the London October one.
No, sorry. Where did you do the park run?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was just the Chalkwell one.
Yeah,
so
I think I remember. I was running that, and I remember seeing you. You were just like so far. Because when you run Chalkwell, because it's an out and back.
Yeah.
You normally see you're not allowed to say winners in a park run anymore.
Yeah.
The person leading. But I remember I saw you and you were just so far ahead of everyone.
I think it was
like a nice day.
Lots of other races on.
Yes.
all the quick boys from Southend weren't there.
16:38 is gonna win most weeks, I'd say. So we understand you've been injured. For a while. How was that? And what's your advice to people dealing with an injury, and did it affect your mental health? Because I know it would, when I've been injured, it affects my mental health a bit.
Yeah, injuries are funny ones, aren't they? I mean, they're going to happen. Yeah. And I think acknowledging that they're going to happen, I mean, whilst trying to minimise them as best you can through strength and conditioning and running sensibly and so on is always important. But at some point, you're as a runner, you're going to get injured.
Yeah.
I mean, it will affect your mental health to an extent. It's how much you let it as well, because you can control that. So I've had a stress fracture for most of this year. Right. Which meant I wasn't able to run for about 6 months. So I'm about a month back into it now. Yeah. And at the time it was diagnosed, that was the point, because it wasn't, I was running and so I had an MRI done, got the results, and swore at the consultant when he told me how long I wasn't going to be able to run for.
Bet. Oh.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I just, because I wasn't expecting it.
No.
And but then I like to have a 24-hour rule when it comes to kind of bad news with injuries and stuff. So you moan, you eat crappy food, you do what you want to do, and sulk for 24 hours, and then move on and be positive.
Because
in life,
I react like, and then you're like, actually take it all in.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah. So I tried to physician heal thyself there, because I always advocate my athletes to do that. I said you need time to process it and stuff. Yeah. But try and keep it to 24 hours, and then what can you do positively? So, firstly, work with a physio, depending on what the injury is and stuff, but get professional help and do the things they set you.
Yes, that's the key to physio, isn't it?
I've got a kind of a physio who's a good business partner for me, and her, she was giving me some statistics about how many people do the work that she sets them. I mean, it's like, miserable.
Yeah.
And so, you're paying however much you're paying to go and see a physio.
Yeah.
Do the bloody work.
Totally agree. People think it's just that session, that hour that you go to them, don't they? And it's all the homework that you have to do.
Yeah, having shockwave therapy and all these things are brilliant.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of the easy bit in a way. It's doing the boring exercises that you need to do to make yourself better. And, think about the goal that you've got. You ultimately you want to run again.
Yeah.
Do the exercises. Yeah. You've got more time in your day now because you can't run. Do the exercises. So that's one thing. But also, depending on what the injury is, but find what else you can do. Yeah. So swim, go on the bike.
Yes.
Spin classes were great for me during this. You get that sense of community again. You're having a bit of fun. Strength and conditioning in the appropriate ways that you can. And any classes that you can do, like Pilates is brilliant for runners anyway. Because of the core strength and everything. And I advocate any runners doing yoga and Pilates always. And then, as you're getting back into the running or before you can do the running, those hydro vests that you can get that kind of keep you upright in the pool, kind of run.
Yeah, nice.
But you at least it gives you that feeling of running when you're not, So I would do all of those things. And then 2 other things I think are worth thinking about when you're injured. Social media. Now, I actually, as I said, because I coach people and stuff, I get a buzz from seeing people do well. So me going on Strava or whatever, I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
I know some people prefer to completely remove themselves from that when they're injured. And again, I think whatever is appropriate for you there. But, try and know how you're going to respond to it and deal with it appropriately.
It's being mindful, isn't it, of how, your personal situation and how you think you're going to be able to deal with it. Thinking, do you want to see everyone still out there running and seeing all their results? Actually, will that give you that buzz or not?
One makes a lot of sense.
It does, doesn't it?
Volunteer at parkrun and stuff as well, though.
Yeah, give back.
Yes, that's a great one.
My favourite parkrun moment was there was a lady running and she was the slower end of the field, but she knocked 5 minutes off her best, and she was in floods of tears, and it was so life affirming to it was brilliant. So volunteer, it's a good thing to do, or if you're a member of a club, kind of go and help out with a cross country or do some scoring, or get involved with the community. It's a great way of making yourself feel better, I think.
They're really good tips, aren't they? So talking of tips, so again, you spoke earlier about kind of the approach that you take when you get on a new client and a new runner. If someone had got the opportunity to run a marathon, so they were lucky enough to get in the ballot or get a space in the marathon, what are the kind of top 3 tips that you'd give them for their training when they've got a marathon coming up?
Okay, so one of these I touched on before, but it's get the basics right. The stuff around the running. So sleep well, eat as well as you can, do the exercise, the strength and conditioning stuff around that, stay hydrated so that when you do run, you're in the best position that you can be to do that and make the most of the training. Secondly, consistency. So it's, running well and doing a marathon isn't about bashing out 1 20-miler as fast as you can. It's about gradually building up the distances that you're doing. Consistency. And that's what will reap the rewards. So that would be the second one. And then thirdly, enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely.
Regardless of whether you're running 3 times a week or you're doing 10 sessions a week with double days and whatever, up to 100 miles, you need to enjoy it because it's going to take up a lot of your life.
It is,
it's a big commitment doing a marathon. So enjoy it. You're choosing to do it. Dina Castor, the American marathon runner, talks about choices, not sacrifices. And I really like that.
That's great.
Not every run's going to be fun. Like you'll go out in the, this time of year and it's miserable, it's cold, it's raining. But ultimately you're doing it for the purpose of running a marathon. And that's your reward, actually. The marathon itself, the marathon day. Standing on that, we've done this. We've run London together, and we've stood on that start line. You're surrounded by people in world record costumes and stuff. Oh my god,
there's nothing better.
It's my favourite day of the year. It's better than Christmas Day.
It's amazing.
For me. I love it.
It is,
We say that, don't we? We say London Marathon Day is the best day of the year. It's just got such a buzz. And if you're running it or if you're spectating, it's they're both amazing. So when I was training for a marathon, I did London. I remember someone said to me like time on your feet, and that was something that kind of stuck with me throughout that training. That actually, if I was having a bit of I can't be, I've got out there, but I feel like I've not pushed myself, or I've not done like quite hit what I was trying to do. It just took me back to, but I've done something. It was time on my feet. I've got out there, and that kind of kept me going quite a lot as well.
Again, this is where a coach can help. It's like, what's the purpose of each session that you're doing?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just to build up the aerobic engine, it's simple stuff. Other times it will be to increase your lactate threshold or do specific marathon pace work. But ultimately, each run that you do should have a purpose.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing.
Cool. Nice. Thanks. Yeah.
So next question then. Do you think everyone should race in a carbon shoe? Do you think a carbon shoe would improve everyone's time, every type of runner's time?
There's a question. Because the thing is, when you're talking about carbon shoes, it's not just the carbon. You're talking about the stack height. You're talking about all the new types of foam.
Yes. The foam. Yeah.
And even
super shoes, they're called.
The super shoes. Yeah. That's it. I mean, like in November last year, there was a college athlete who is suing one of the big shoe manufacturers because she's been injured from wearing carbon shoes.
I saw the Alpha 2. That's recently.
Yeah. So, I think there's a risk that comes with wearing the carbon shoes, and I certainly don't wear them all the time for training. I think if you're going to wear them, make sure you've done the appropriate strength and conditioning for your calf and Achilles particularly, so that you can cope with bending that plate when you're running.
Yeah.
I had a chat with a guy who works for one of the big shoe firms, and he had the opinion that unless you're running under 6 minute 30 a mile, you potentially don't get as much benefit from the shoe.
Wow.
What, for a marathon?
Potentially.
Because
of the force that you need to bend the plate. Now, actually, I'm not sure.
That's a very small percentage of people.
Agreed. Now,
it's quicker than sub 3.
Yeah. Now, I don't think I agree with that, in all honesty. And I think there's a huge psychological benefit to the carbon shoes as well. So I only ever wear them for very crucial training sessions and then for the race.
Right.
Because for me, it's like that extra kind of putting your armour on.
Yeah.
They feel so good. You just get that boost with them.
Yeah.
And there's no question that they are faster. You look at the way the world records, both in the marathon and on the track, as they're starting to introduce plated spikes.
Yeah.
They're just tumbling.
Yeah.
So I think the balance of that with the injury risk and stuff, you have to take that into account. But we all want to get quicker. I did a test actually with a carbon shoes. So I did a tempo run just in normal shoes, and then I did it a week later in pretty much identical conditions in a pair of carbon shoes, and my heart rate was 15 beats lower wearing the carbon shoes. Now I might be a super responder, but it's a significant difference.
How far was the run?
It was 5 miles.
Oh, okay.
So it was a mile in, then 3 miles at tempo pace. But the tempo pace component of that was 15 beats.
Yeah. And do you think the recovery's better? Do you think you recover quicker when you wear a carbon shoe? Because people say that, don't they?
Yeah, in some ways. In others, like people get calf spasms and stuff. So someone I coached did a big training session in one and was really struggling afterwards. Yeah. So again, it's know your own body. Yeah. I mean, they are, I mean, I would always race in one. I can't. I held out for a while, and I was like gloating when I was beating people that were wearing carbon shoes. But if you can't beat them, join them. I think, whilst I don't like the cost element that's crept in, and it's making it harder to make running as accessible,
and inclusive. It is,
and those Adidas ones that are 450 or whatever they are. I mean, again, I don't think that's good for running.
No.
But in terms of performance, the carbon shoes are unquestionably a benefit.
So do you think every runner should wear a pair? Like, would you, basically, if you're training someone to do a 6-hour marathon or sub 3-hour marathon, would you recommend that they buy a carbon pair of shoes?
I'd take it on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
Because particularly it's what does that person feel comfortable wearing?
Yes.
Maybe. And I realise that's a vague answer.
No,
but
no,
I don't think it's a definitive yes or no.
Yeah. Do most of your athletes wear a carbon shoe?
It's a great question. Yeah, most of them for racing.
For the race?
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who's worn them too much? Like,
not that I coach, but I do know people that have, and and they've struggled. And again, there's more and more papers that are being written about, because we're getting enough data now to see what the effects are and so on. And I think, but the shoes are getting better all the time as well.
Yeah, but I mean that one that came out recently, the Nike one, is it the Vomero?
Yeah, the really soft one,
the premium one. Yeah, it's 50 millimeters, so it's illegal.
Yeah,
I don't actually see the point of that shoe because it's illegal. Like you can train in it.
Yeah,
but people are saying it's a good recovery shoe, but I don't see the point of that because it's illegal. But so could I go and buy the premium Vomero, whatever it's called, 50 millimeter stack, and run the London Marathon in it and have a time? Because I'm an amateur.
I think they'd pull you up on it if technically they could. I don't think they would because of where you were in the field. Yeah, but I mean technically it's illegal.
I think morally it wouldn't feel right.
No. I mean similarly, you can't wear a pair of Vaporflies on the track because the stack height. It's too high. They've changed the World Athletics changed the rule, so it's like, don't get me wrong, the numbers here, but it's like 35 mil or something. It's the stack height, and that might be 40 or something. So hence the carbon spikes are becoming a lot more prevalent now. But
Okay,
really
cool.
Yeah, but just the fact that we've had this conversation, it's a can of worms. I think there's no definitive answers. Yes, they're quicker, but there's all sorts of controversy around shoes and stuff at the moment.
It's crazy how it changes, and how like 10 years ago we probably wouldn't have even thought of that would be a conversation, and now it's like shoes are banned and stacks and stuff. So
2016 was the first carbon shoe. They used them in the 2016 Olympics. The very first ones.
The Nike, and that I wore them. That's where I first ran sub 3.
Yeah,
Amsterdam 2:59,
Nice.
21, 19 or something, and so my best before was like 3:04 in a pair of like Adidas, whatever they were called, and they helped me. Like I think I've done 4 sub 3s and they've all been in carbons.
Yeah,
so I've done it in a non-carbon.
Nice. But
good.
I'd take it for that.
Yeah, no, I don't care.
Jim, your eyes lit up earlier when you talked about London Marathon. So I don't know if this is going to be your answer to this question, but what's been your favourite moment as a runner? Have you got a favourite moment that you could kind of pinpoint as that was it?
Yeah, that sub 3 is one of them. But actually, it wasn't crossing the line. Weirdly, it was about 2 miles before because I knew I was going to do it.
Yeah,
that's
realisation of when you were going to do it.
But one of the other ones I've had, and it was the, I think it was a race you did as well, Pete, the C2C 50 miler ultra thing from Upminster to Southend.
I did that this year.
Yeah, that's right. And I did it last year. And
I think I ran past you. You said you were having drinks.
That's right. It was
saying,
do you want
to come down? I was like, mate, I've just done 8 hours. Through the bit. It was quite cool. You run through the billet.
Yeah.
And everyone's like drinking. I've got another 5 miles. Sorry.
That's
but a funny old race. But I got about, where did I get to? It was about 35 miles in or something. I hadn't had any music on or anything, been chatting to people, having a lovely time. Put some music on and stuff, and just had the most ridiculous runner's high I've ever had in my life. I mean, honestly, it was unlike anything. And I don't know what the song was or whatever. Yeah. And I was running a lot, it was like, those wobbly things you get outside car showrooms. I was just such a buzz.
Wow.
And so, it doesn't compare in terms of accomplishment to the sub 3 or other races that I've done, but that was up there. Just that moment where you have a runner's high that you don't know when you're going to get it.
Amazing. You can't plan it, you can't predict it. It probably was down to some of the music as well. You had going, feeling really pumped. I love that. Amazing.
I've got one other example, just because I've just it was one. This is one where I kind of put a really meticulous plan in place for this was for the 33:59 10k.
Oh, nice.
And it was in Billericay, and in Billericay, that race, you can see the clock at the end of the thing. And I had about 200 metres to go, and the clock was counted, and I completely buried myself and came in 1 second under what I wanted, and so that was another goodie, because that was
to get that time.
The accomplishment and the realisation of something I've been working at for ages, but with a very strict plan in place. That that was a goodie. So ups and things.
To come third, I remember seeing the picture behind Whitaker first, I think, and Hickey second, and then you.
I mean, I was a long way behind them. Let's just make that clear.
I remember seeing the picture, you three. I was like, that's class.
Yeah.
I also remember a run I did with you at the Essex 20.
Oh yeah.
The airfield, and we were doing loops, and I was with you for the first 10, I think it was, and you said, I haven't done anything over 10 miles or something like that, and then maybe I think you said something like that, and then you just literally, and I think I ran about 2:15, 14, which I was quite happy with, but then you just cruised off. I think you ran about 2:10 or something like that, and you it was one of those days where you were just like, I feel good.
And they don't happen often enough, sadly.
But sometimes it does happen, isn't it?
You have to make the most of it. You know, purple patches. You know, they talk about it in various sports, all that. When you get in flow state or whatever, you know, when it happens, make the most of it, because it's a wonderful feeling.
So you're a lead strider.
Yes.
I understand you're on the committee. Do you play quite a big part in that?
I'm the captain now as well.
So
mate, just I don't need enough to do. So. Last 6 months or so.
Oh mate,
amazing.
Congrats! That's amazing. So, what are the benefits of being part of a running club? I suppose. To runners.
I mean, we spoke earlier about having people to run with and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're training for a specific event, you know, there'll be people to run with. But you know, it's finding people of a comparable ability, which is really helpful. So they'll you know, you push yourselves. On the track, you know, you can work together on sessions. So, you know, someone takes one rep, someone takes another rep. But aside from that, it's just the kind of the friendship that you get. I mean, many of my best friends are members of the club. I mean, I think it's a very special club, actually. The sense of camaraderie and when people muck in to help with the cross country and bake cakes and, you know, various things. And we, you know, we do the Easter egg hunt for the kids, you know, and so there's all sorts of stuff. But I think anybody that's thinking about joining a running club, do it, because you'll meet people. It doesn't matter what people do in their day-to-day life. You never talk about that. It's you just have a shared experience. You'll go and do races together. It just makes everything more enjoyable. So join a club.
And I must say, Leon C Striders is an amazing club, and we see it across the country when we get tagged in photos all the time from Happy Striders. There's like such lovely friendships going on. People tour around the country doing park runs together, the A to Z park run challenge and all that sort of thing, and you really do get to see that buzz of energy that people get from being part of that club.
Actually, saying about the people kind of going to park runs and stuff, with I know people that meet up that from other clubs, but they have matchy kind of things. They phone up and go, what are you going to wear today? And they turn up, and so you get that going on. I think that's a brilliant thing about the brand that you've got, though, is that you can do that kind of thing.
We've got the Strider shorts now.
Indeed.
They look good.
Yeah, we've had a lot of collaborations with running clubs like that who want a pair of personalised shorts, which is going really well.
I think it's a brilliant thing to do.
And do you know what as well? We get a lot of people matching, like choosing a Happy Stride design to match their club vest.
Yes.
So say if theirs is orange, then they'll pick an orange pair, or whatever. Or I think we've got one about the elephant design went crazy because of a purple running vest that a club had because they wanted it to match. So that's been really cool to see a lot of that.
Interesting.
Which actually links really nicely onto my next question around Happy Stride designs. So obviously we've got about 70 different designs now.
I've got most of them.
And you say that, but some people really do, which is really which is amazing. And obviously everything we do is designed from scratch and really bespoke. So I was going to ask you, and the thing I love is that everyone loves a different design. No one is the same. What is your favourite Happy Stride design of ours?
So mine's Never a Dull Skull. I had to look up the name of it. But,
great one.
I like the Day of the Dead kind of imagery and stuff. They're colourful and blah blah blah. I like a bit of rock, and it's just I think it's got a bit of that kind of
it has.
A bit edgier than some of the others, and not in a bad way. It's just that's my favourite.
And you know what's funny, when we were thinking about designing that's exactly what we were thinking. Like more of an edgier person, like
running club, Running Punks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They love that design.
Yeah, some like a bit like Halloweeny and just kind of all
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So yeah, we definitely see that people, no one likes the same thing. Everyone likes different. Sometimes it's something that we think is not going to do particularly well, and then it absolutely flies. So it just proves us wrong. So
That's the
have you got an example of that? What's one that you thought might not do as well? And I mean, sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. You can cut this.
do you know what? Do you know what? It's not that we didn't think it's going to do well, but the dinosaurs.
You didn't know how well.
We thought, people like dinosaurs, and we've had a request a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's absolutely flown.
Yeah.
And I think something we probably didn't appreciate there was we've seen a lot of kids buying it for their parents because the kid likes dinosaurs, so then they want the parent to wear it, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then actually just the parents loving it anyway. I think dinosaurs has been a real Mighty Dinos it's called has been a real popular, hence we've now got it in t-shirts, vests, leggings, everything. Because obviously it's something.
Cats has done
and
well.
Cats
Oh,
as
I
well,
bet,
which I think we kind of thought might happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cats has been really good.
That's
So
great.
watch this space because our new range will be launching soon. So yeah, we'll have some new stuff in there.
Little plug there.
Yeah. Why not?
So, what if you could have a Happy Stride design? What would be your design next? What would you choose?
Cactuses.
Oh yes.
And I promised a friend that if I ever had the opportunity to push for a design, peacocks as well.
Okay. That's quite nice. Do you know what? I think that might have been on one of our briefs once, but we didn't go for it, so we might have to add it back on.
You could do the feathers.
Peacocks, lovely,
We'll
beautiful.
add those
aren't
for
they?
the next.
Definitely.
Fantastic.
Yeah, good ideas. So we're actually coming to the end of our time together today. So we're going to ask every single guest that we have, what is their dream race that they'd love to do, and why is that your dream race?
Can I give you three?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
You're the first guest. You can do what you want.
Okay, so the first two aren't attainable. So one is the Olympic 800 metres. If I could ever achieve something, it would be to win the Olympic 800 metres. Now, clearly, that's never going to happen. It never was going to happen.
But it's a dream race. That was the question.
Yeah. So that would be one. Secondly, would be the Barclay Marathons.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know it, it's the most mental race in the woods in Tennessee.
Crazy,
Jasmine Paris last year finished it. So it's 60-hour cut-off. She finished it with 99 seconds. First woman ever to do it. I've never been so excited watching a Twitter refresh in my life.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Yeah, crying watching some text is a bit sad. But there's a documentary about her doing that. If you haven't heard of it, seen it, even if you have, watch it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And she is just the most amazing woman. So that's the second one, Barclay Marathons, because it's just mental.
Yeah.
And the third one, and this one's a bit more attainable, is to do Boston, just because it's the oldest marathon. It's got all that history, that prestige. I want to see how bad Heartbreak Hill actually is. That would be the one. And I think that one's a bit more attainable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Boston sounds. Would you ever look to do the 6 or is it 7 now?
7 now.
Sydney.
No,
you've got no interest in that.
I mean, I'd love to, but there's financial aspects to that. And getting into them so difficult. London in the ballot, was it 1 in 85 or something for the ballot now?
Yeah,
I know, mate. Yeah.
Luckily I've got good for age in the past and stuff. But that gets, that's getting harder.
Yeah. Like you can see why people do it, and
I go in the ballot.
Yeah, amazing, and it's
1 in 85. I was very shocked.
It's you've done well.
Yeah,
I think it was like 1.1 million into
something. It's going like that.
The other thing is like you can see like people are trying to do the A to Z of parkrun. It's like. It's
but what a cool challenge.
It is a great challenge, but it's a lot of effort for 5k.
Yeah, and it's not just that though. There's that whole app where you can do north, south, east. I mean, there's hundreds.
Because Anthony Leckerman, hasn't he still got one letter?
I think X you can't do yet officially, can you?
Right. Okay.
But I think he might have done it. But then he's also almost at 500 park runs, so he's just done so well. Yeah.
Mate, thanks so much for joining us.
No, it's been fun.
I'm sure our community are going to love this. And say someone's listen to this and they want to get in contact with you about being coached. Like how can people get in contact?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram or 651running.com is the website. It's got a bit more information about that. But drop me a message.
Nice.
And always offer a free consultation just to talk through what you want to do. And
Yeah.
you know, I'm not going to sell you a face-to-face coach if that's not the right answer for you.
Yeah.
You know, I want you running.
Yeah.
And that, you know, I maintain that that's the main reason I do this. So
Yeah.
get people running, help people be happy, which I think is quite in line with the way your brand is there. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
People can work with you online as well, can't they?
Yeah, but anywhere in the world, you know, I coach someone in Chicago, for
Wow.
example. So yeah,
Yeah. Brilliant.
Nice one.
great.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.